it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'm gonna let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds. Let's see who we gonna start with. Jackie, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up, Steve? What it do, what it do? What's up? Wait, I need a bigger notification when you come on live. Fam, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. Something going on with the channel. I'm just not, my notifications aren't going out like they should be. The videos are not coming in front, getting in front of the people like they're supposed to be. Y'all, you know, because y'all know how this goes. Sometimes, man, I go live and there's 4,000 or 5,000 people on the live. You know, they jump in immediately. And then other times, and I'm talking about when I'm reporting stories that are in the same vein. And next thing you know, the next live got 200 people in the live. It's crazy. It makes no sense. It's not consistent at all. And I'm very consistent, so I don't understand, why it does that. I don't know what's going on. But I do know that everybody has an opinion about this Diddy trial and the circumstances surrounding it. And all of the players, from the witnesses who knew him intimately to those who may have worked for him or was associated with him in some capacity or just came across him in some way. Everybody has an opinion. Insert NFL ball player, Des Bryant, retired NFL star Des Bryant. Des is in hot water for his controversial take on Cassie Ventura following her ex-boyfriend Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial. What did Des say, man? What did he do now? What did he do? After Diddy was found guilty, I find it funny that they call Diddy a rapper. Diddy is an entrepreneur. He's much more than a rapper. He's a serial entrepreneur. But, and they do that on purpose. These publications, they know exactly what they be doing. They do that on purpose to try to marginalize you. Yeah, man, they try to psychologically marginalize you. You gotta be. Anyway, after Diddy was found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution, but acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering on Wednesday, CBS News reporter Ashley Nicole Moss posted on X, "My thoughts are with Cassie and her family as a woman, as a person. Her testimony was heartbreaking, and I couldn't imagine how she feels this morning." She feels $30 million richer. Moving on. It's the very unfortunate reality of women who experience sexual violence. The story is just never enough. 38-year-old Cassie testified during Diddy's 6-week trial in New York City that he physically and sexually abused her as well as threatened her during their tumultuous relationship from 2007 to 2018. Dez jumped in the comments section. I respect your opinions heavy, but Cassie wasn't no victim. Not even close. Let's stop right there. Okay, you know what? Let's go on a little further. Okay. This is what he replied to the post. The post by Ashley Nicole Moss. Okay? Somebody said she wasn't a victim. For starters, we saw her beaten on camera. That's what Moss said, actually. She said, referencing the surveillance footage showing Diddy beating on Cassie and dragging her in the hallway of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. Another ex-user added, what about the assault on tape? She was definitely a victim, my guy. Someone else noted, the beating was brutal, bro. A third person wondered, she wasn't a victim of domestic abuse? We all witnessed on camera. Is that what she wasn't no victim of? Is that what she wasn't no victim of? Another critic pointed out, we seen her try to leave and bro chased her down, whooped her and drug her back to the room. Come on, Dez. Many others blasted Dez for being an idiot, an effing dork, a sick F, and a piece of S-H-I-T. Somebody said, Jesus Christ. Effing, actually they said, Jesus effing Christ. Y'all remember when it used to be blasphemy to cuss when you're using Jesus' name or God's name? Remember that, when that used to be a blasphemy? Jesus effing Christ. This kind of misogyny is so dangerous. You have a daughter. One particularly heated Zedizen said of his 10-year-old child, Isabella, heaven forbid she falls in love with the man who mentally, emotionally, physically abuses her or traffics her. You got to tell your daughter she's not a, you going to tell your daughter she's not a victim and make her feel more unsafe? Scum. An overwhelming number of commenters dismissed Dez's opinion altogether, given that he was arrested and charged with assaulting his own mother in 2012. Okay. I'm still stunned by the person who's using cuss words when speaking of Christ. Yeah. Anyway, no, I'm just looking for consistency. I'm not saying you can't do that, but because some people don't even really believe like that. So if that ain't what you believe, you can do all the cussing you want to. But if that's what you really believe, then I don't see how they go together. I think one, I think it's an oxymoron. Yeah, I don't think that. I think it would. That's the type of language that would be considered an oxymoron to use effing, use cuss words and Christ in the same breath. Anyway, moving on. So, so let's address this. Let's address this. And let's keep it a buck. Dad said out loud what many people are scared to say. Dad said out loud what many people are thinking. Dad said out loud what those who are in denial refuse to acknowledge. Cassie was a victim. She was. But she was also an accomplice, an accessory at the very least. So two things can be true. That's the problem with people on the internet. A lot of these people, it's like they don't use any critical thinking. It's everything got to be stacked to the left or to the right. Everything got to be all the way to the left or all the way to the right. If you, God forbid, you try to use some type of objectivity. God forbid you try to reason and look at things both ways. Even if you agree, even if you're leaning one way, a critical mind still sees things both ways. Try to imagine things both ways. So two things can be true at the same time. I can be inside of a car and with my friend, and we get pulled over, and he got some dope in the car. I don't know he got dope in the car. I'm innocent. But the police decide they're going to give me 5 ounces, they're going to give him 5 ounces. We both go to jail. We get out. Now, I start looking for a job. I can't find a job because I got this jacket on my back now. So what I do? I just start selling dope because, hey, that's the low-hanging fruit. That's something I can do right away, start making some money right away. Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, chances are I'm going to get caught and it's going to put me all the way back and I'm going back to jail. But for right now, in my mind, that's the best I can do. So I jump off the porch and start selling. Hell, I pass him up. I start liking selling drugs so much, I sell more drugs than he sells. I'm calling up the connect. Yo, what's up? Meet me over here. Woo, 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 woo. Was I a victim? I absolutely was a victim at one point. But at another point, I got to be so fine with it that I became an accomplice. I started engaging in bad behavior, in behavior that I knew would get me in further trouble. So at what point do I take accountability for my role? Because he, got me in a trap, do I put it on him the entire time? Or do I put some responsibility on myself at some point? I grew up abused, right? I got beat as a kid, right? I got beaten, right? Whooped all the time. Got me another sucker. Got me another sucker. Just like that. Blocked him. He got blocked. See, that's what I'm talking about, fam. I like them easy blocks. I could see them coming from a mile away. I like those type of blocks. No, I do not want to put this chump in time out. I want to put him in, I want to block him for good. How can I get this sucker out of here? Here we go. Here we go. Here come the block. Get your uncivilized mud ass up out of here. Family, how many times? Look, we ain't got to agree. We do not have to agree. But disrespect would not be accepted. It is amazing how many people who use this damn internet who have no decorum. They have no skills in having a decent, respectful conversation where people may disagree with you, but you still keep it respectful. They don't know how to do that. They totally missed that part in life. Well, I'm going to give you some act right. You come over here. When you get over here, I'm going to give you some act right. You're going to get some act right over here. Because you ain't going to come over here on my platform disrespecting me and think you're going to still be cool. Take your uncivilized mutt ass to your mammy's platform. Do that on your pappy's platform. It ain't gonna never work over here. Moving on. Believing that Cassie is not all innocent or may not be innocent at all doesn't mean you don't support victims of SA. Damn, where's the critical thinking, man? It don't mean that you don't support victims of SA. It just means that you're applying critical thinking. You're applying critical thinking to a specific case. You look at these things on a case-by-case basis, not just with a blind swipe, just one broad blind swipe. You're not supposed to blindly believe alleged victims. You're supposed to look at each case separately and then base your opinions on the evidence and the information that you have. And all that information and evidence ain't never going to be the same because we all know that people do lie. We all know that people do sometimes start off one way and end up another way. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst. What's up, China Carter? I see you. So supporting victims of abuse doesn't require blindly agreeing with everybody and every accusation. It means standing up for the truth, accountability, and justice. It does not mean blindly believing, blindly supporting every single person who has an accusation. Again, for the slowpokes, I've already acknowledged that yes, she was a victim when she got beat down. Yes, she was a victim of the brutal beatdown, and she deserved relief for that. But she was not a freak-off victim. So stop trying to conflate the two. Boy, y'all something else on this internet, man. You can believe in protecting and empowering survivors while also acknowledging that each situation is personal and complex. Each situation is personal. Each situation is complex. There have been women who have been essayed, and I looked at the situation, and I 100%, I'm in her corner because I believe in the evidence and the information that I got. I believed in it, and I was 100%. And so when you do that, you got your dudes over here, they gonna say, oh, he's simping, he's simping. Contrarily, when there's a situation where you don't believe the woman, you're not all sold on her side of the story. Oh, what if it was your daughter? What if it was your mother? You must hate women. You can't win for losing with these people because they don't have critical thinking. They just want you to think one way. You cannot be objective at all. You cannot look at things from both sides. That's the fundamental problem with America. We do not put ourselves in the shoes of others and try to see things from their vantage point. We see things, we one-track people. We're a one-track society. And we see things just like this, and that's it. We see things through a vacuum. That's it. Critical thinking? Hell no. I'm going to tell you what a lot of us do. We hop online, we see what everybody else is saying, we copy and paste their remarks, their comments. I can't count the amount of times I've seen comments that look like they was copy and paste. All of it sound the same. It's the same temperament. It's the same, it's just the same old comments. Same talking points. No critical thinking whatsoever. What's up, China? Holding someone accountable for their role in something, in an incident, does not take away from your support of victims. Two things can be true at the same time. I can overall support the concept of law enforcement and hate those who are working within law enforcement who abuses their power. The same games that people who are in support of Cassie are trying to run on people today who question Cassie's honesty, who questions her integrity, who questions her story, are behaving the exact same way cop apologists behave. Oh man, you can't criticize a police officer under no circumstances because police officers have a tough job, man. It's a tough job. So you can't question police officers. You can't question them. Don't doubt them whatsoever. It's a tough job. You want to come do the job? That's the first thing I say. You come do the job. It's a tough job. You only got 5 seconds. So they want us to have the mentality like, if the police say it was true, it was true. If the police do it, it had to be done. Because he's a police officer. No, he's a man in a suit with a title. He's a human being. Just like the rest of us who have our own set of implicit biases. The same thing with the judge. You can't be fooled by the black robe. Underneath that robe is a person with a background who went to school and got indoctrinated, who grew up with a certain set of friends, background, beliefs, religion or non-religion. These are human beings. What they do, their profession is just what they do for a living. These are human beings. They bleed, they breathe just like everybody else. If you take something sharp and puncture their skin, they're going to bleed just like everybody else. If they don't take their vitamins, and they don't take care of themselves and they're eating all wrong stuff, they are going to catch a cold just like anybody else. They're going to catch the flu just like anybody else. When their bladder gets filled, they're going to have to urinate just like everybody else. When that stomach start growling, they got to eat. They're going to have a strong desire to eat just like anybody else. If they don't brush their teeth, their breath is going to stink just like anybody else's. When they lose a loved one, they are going to cry just like anybody else. They're going to be depressed if they can't pay their bills. If they have a bill, if they all of a sudden get an avalanche of bills or some unexpected bill and they ain't got the money to cover it, they're going to be depressed just like anybody else. So we got to stop putting these people on pedestals because they got a certain title. These are human beings we are dealing with. Human beings, if they go out and do something spectacular where they're earning a whole lot of money, they're just human beings with a lot of money. They still got to deal with trust factors. They still got to deal with betrayal. They still got to deal with loss of life. They got to deal with sickness, health. They still have to deal with everything else that people have to deal with. Money can mitigate a lot of their issues. But at the core, the human experience, they got to go through it just like everybody else. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. And just so you'll know where I stand, I 1,000% believe in Dez Bryant, what he had to say. Cassie, I won't say that Cassie is not innocent. I won't just say she's not innocent. I'm saying Cassie is not completely innocent. Because remember, by her own admission, she liked the freak-offs. So she's innocent in regards to being beaten on the video. That looks pretty innocent to me. But, and we don't know what happened in that room before that. But she looked like a victim on that video to me. But she did not look like a victim during the freak-offs. Reading those text messages and those threads. The audio I heard her. Remember, Cassie was on audio talking about killing a man. I'll kill you, chop you up. Well, I won't do it myself, but it'll happen. Remember? That's Cassie. That's the innocent one y'all talking about. She threatened a man's life. I'll kill you. I will kill you. Chop you up. Give me the goddamn thing, man. I'll kill you. That's Cassie. That's the Cassie they don't want to talk about. That's the part of the testimony that they don't want to talk about. That's the part of the evidence they don't want to talk about. Cassie, the gangster, the killer, the chop you upper. Yeah. They don't want to talk about the time. They want to talk about all the freak-offs, but they don't want to talk about the time where Cassie said, I like the freak offs, well, just not as frequently. I liked it, just didn't like doing it as frequently. Does that sound like an innocent person? If Diddy is guilty of it, she's guilty of it. I rest my case. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I might be back with one more tonight. Stay tuned. No more talk.